There's so much pain going on underneath the surface, and most people don't know how and where to go and how to move forward, and it starts with healing. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So great to have you guys here. And if you're new, I'm Sidney. I'm a certified holistic health coach, and here on my channel we do all things healing, emotions, processing, and transforming our lives from the inside out. In this video, I will give you 3 things you can do to help heal yourself and help create a bigger capacity for you to take action in your life. We're gonna uncover that. We're gonna start to uncover that process. It's a practice today in this video. Number 1, recognizing that any change in your world or the greater vision of the world starts with you. In order to grow and in order to be the biggest version of yourself and step into that potential, most of us don't scratch the surface of our potential. The only way to do that is to constantly have a practice of engaging with yourself. How can we expect anyone to show up in big ways when we can't even recognize our power to change our world? So think of the ways that you want to change your life and you want to do these big, grand things, but it starts in the small actions, in the small beliefs that you have. There's no way you can get to the greater vision of your dream and your life and the greater vision for our world without recognizing that you have the power. Most people give up their power. Most people believe that everything is outside of themselves. Well, I can't do. That's a question that's being asked a lot right now. What can I do? I mean, it's not my fault that I'm here. I don't know how. Take some better credit, okay? You are a powerful being, and what you think about is created in your life. So recognizing that you have this power and knowing that wherever you want to be in your life, wherever you want the world to be, if you want there to be healing, it starts with you. It starts with your thoughts. It starts with your action, and it starts with recognizing and acknowledging emotions and thoughts that you may have about your world. It could sneak in. It might not be so in the forefront of your brain, especially if it's not something that you practice doing. You have to create time to spend with yourself. This is a practice. This is a process. It doesn't have an end. Are you willing to be an agent of change? Because any change that you want to make happen, it's in your control. So you have to ask yourself, am I willing to be an agent of change? Am I willing to be uncomfortable? If I want a greater vision for my life, if I want a greater vision for the world, if I want to learn how to use my voice, if I want to learn how to step out of my comfort zone, you have to get uncomfortable. Are you willing to do things you've never done? Ask yourself those questions. Pause, take a second, ask yourself, am I willing to sit with that uncomfortability long enough to build a muscle so where I can handle it? That's a part of change. That is exactly what it's like to maneuver and work through your emotions and work through these thoughts and these unconscious beliefs. This space is so valuable. It dictates everything. It will dictate your reality. It dictates what you see. The power is in you. You are much more powerful than you think, and you just gotta start being aware of where it is that you have work to do. Number 2, reflect on the ways that you allow fear to control your life. Fear, false evidence appearing real. What does that mean? It's fake. It doesn't exist. It's not true. Everything that is happening in our country right now, everything that's happening on that bigger scale is a direct result of fear. Jealousy, anger, hate, all a byproduct of fear. And it's false. It's not true. It doesn't exist. It's the stories that you tell yourself that create the fear, that create the false reality. It's this unconsciousness. That's why it's important for you to know, step 1, the power is in your hands. It starts with you. You need to figure out what tools you need, and you need to acknowledge and take the time to create the space to work through things. And then you'll be able to realize and reflect on what fears come up for me. What are these false stories that I'm telling myself? Whoa, you can literally change the reality you see if you identify what fears you have and which ways they sneak up in your life. When you don't acknowledge and identify the fears that are at work for you, you allow them to sneak up in different ways in your life and take the driver's seat. They will be driving your car. They will be driving the boat. They will be driving, pick the analogy. They will be driving your life. Put them in the back seat. Fears will always be there. That's okay. They can't run your life. Once you identified it, it doesn't have power. And then you can shake it off and then you can move forward. Being afraid is a choice because you are choosing not to engage with your fear. And number 3, in how to process your emotions in a healthy way, small actions daily. Showing up and healing requires doing. The reason why taking small daily actions is so important is because we have to get past the intellectualizing and understanding of these concepts and understanding. You need to embody it with action. And how do you let go of certain emotions? You have to process them, you have to feel them. And in these daily actions, it will help you let things move through you. It will help it's like stretching, it will help loosen everything up and it will get things moving. And then you'll be able to make bigger moves once you've made these small steps and taken these small steps. You decide. There's so many different things. You can pick a book, and your daily action is reading this personal development book, a chapter a day. That's an amazing daily action. You don't have to do 20 million things in one day to move yourself forward, to feel like, yes, I'm doing something. It can be small, especially if you're not used to flexing that muscle. It can be small. Finding a mentor who you can connect with and help you broaden your understanding of what you're trying to work on. It's really nice to have a coach. That's why my clients, I live for that. I give you the tools and you work them. And then we talk about it and you come back and you realize, I got your blind spot. You use the tools and you take action and you will see growth happen. And if there's some place where you're stuck, that's what I'm there for. Hit up my website. We can chat. You can sign up for a free call with me and we can work through things together. That's a great place to start. You decide what action it is that you want to use to take. You have to engage with it every day. For me, I start my morning with affirmations. I read a poem book that I love words, so I really like that. It influences my mind and primes it. And then every day, no matter what, even if I'm tired, even if I'm not feeling it, I like embody the words that I'm saying. Tony Robbins has this incantation that he used to say, and he still says. He used to run and say it. That's one of the affirmations that I say. And I say it and I embody it. I'm like, God's love circulates in my life. God's love flows to me. That's how I am. I like to feel it in my body. You can't just be about it, you gotta do about it. I do what I'm asking you to do. But pick one. Pick one thing that you can do this week that's gonna help you, once you've identified your fears and journal those things out, that's gonna help you to work on one of those fears. If it's finding a mantra that you can say in the reversal of your fear, you're constantly saying you're not good enough and you're afraid of rejection. An affirmation that you can say to yourself is, I am qualified for all things in my life. I am abundant in my ways. I am an unrepeated miracle. Because you're reshaping here, and everything that happens here, it starts here. You will eventually be able to cover more ground when you start flexing that muscle and get stronger, and the baby steps will become big giant leaps, and you will be able to show up in the world in such a huge way. But it starts with yourself. So number one, recognizing that change in your world and the greater vision of the world, it starts with you. You have the power. Number two, reflect on the ways that you allow fear to control your life. If you don't acknowledge your fears, you will never be able to move forward, ever. Comment yes below in the comments if you feel me on that. Number three, small actions daily. Showing up and healing requires doing. So that then you're building this muscle and you can show up for yourself. You can make bigger moves for yourself and therefore make bigger moves for your communities at large in the world. If you like this video, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up. If you weren't vibing with it, I'd like you to give it a thumbs down. It doesn't matter, it flips me now. Hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for the next video. I'm so excited, I can't wait to dive in. And if all of this sounds good, but you just really are confused on where to start, in the link below, I have created a little mini starter kit on things you can think about, journal questions, and some affirmations for you to get going on your journey with processing your emotions. Remember, it's a process, and it's not something that's gonna happen overnight.